after so many years of being told that my personality is so amazing and I need to get out there and entertain people, I have finally decided to start YouTube. Not really perfected where I'm going with my channel yet. I know I really want to just show you guys my personality. I really want to show who I am. I really want to share about my family and things that I'm interested in. I think the first thing that I'm going to do for you guys is a story time about the birth of my 17-month-old Nova. So stay tuned. Talk about the birth of my 17-month-old Nova Ray. Let's start out by saying my pregnancy was painful, to say the least. I was in pain all the time, and you know what? I am a drama queen, but it really was extremely painful. I wasn't able to get out of bed really for the later part of my pregnancy, about 26-ish weeks on, because I had so much pelvic pain that I was just in bed all day. So fast forward, we're at 38 weeks and 2 days. I'm laying in bed. My husband is using the restroom, which is attached to our bedroom at the time. And all of a sudden, I'm laying there and I'm like, TC, I think I peed on myself again. And he's like, you peed on yourself? I'm like, yeah, man, I gotta hurry up and get in the shower. So I get in the shower, and the whole time I'm in the shower, it's continuing to come out. And I'm like, I really cannot control my pee. Like, something is wrong. So I continue to take a shower, and it's still coming out. So when I get out of the shower, I'm like, I wonder if this is pee. So I went to go smell it. TMI, but I went to go smell it to see if it was urine, and it smelled sweet. So I called my mom and I'm like, Mom, I think that my water broke. I don't know. I might be peeing again, but it smells sweet. It doesn't smell like pee. And she's like, Lex, your water probably broke. Just, take a few minutes and see if it continues. If it continues, then it for sure is your water. So I sit on the toilet and it's just coming out. So I'm like, TC, my water for sure broke. So my mom's going to come pick me up to take me to the hospital. And it's just coming out. So we're getting everything ready. I'm packing the bags. Setting up everything for when we come home, that it's, good and ready for her. And we start going outside so that I can meet my mom. My mom comes. It's going everywhere. And she has my sister. So we get to the hospital, and my sister, it was the funniest thing ever. So we get there. She gets me a wheelchair. She's like, she's in labor. Can't you see? She's peeing all over the floor. So we finally get up to labor and delivery, and they take me to triage. I sit in triage. They hook the monitors up to me. One for contractions, one to monitor her heartbeat. They test me, and of course, my water had broken. They're measuring contractions, and my contractions were very, very minimal. I was only dilated to a 1 and 90% effaced. So we sat in there for I want to say about 3 hours with no progression while they were waiting for our room to get ready so that we can, get into our labor and delivery room. So we get into the labor and delivery room, and I still was just not progressing. I was at maybe a 2. I just was not progressing very much at all. So they decided to give me Pitocin to jumpstart my labor, since I really was not in active labor. So they give me Pitocin. We're sitting around. 4 hours go by. My mom decides to leave because I just was not progressing. Maybe I was at a 3.5. Was not progressing still. So we ended up spending the whole night. At about 4, I didn't even tell you guys. By the time we had got into the hospital, it was about 10. My water broke around 8. So here we are at about 8 o'clock at night, and I'm only at around, I want to say about a 6. So they let us sleep. I let my mom know what's going on, and she's like, just keep me updated with the progression. So around 4 o'clock the next morning, I'm at 8, and I'm like, oh my god, finally things are getting ready. I'm so excited. They end up calling the OB that works with my midwife, because my midwife was on vacation. Sorry about the knocking at my door. My 17-month-old wants in so bad. she says that she's going to come and check me, but she wants to give me a little bit more time to progress. So she comes, and it's around 8 o'clock. So she gets there and she checks me, and she says that she can stretch me to about a like 8.5, 9, but she wants to let me continue to try to progress. She ends up coming back at around I want to say about 9:15ish, and she lets me know that I still have not progressed. So it's been over 24 hours since I had broken my water. So at that time they would start worrying about infection. And so they decide that we're going to do a C-section, since she thinks that I'm not going to be able to fully dilate to a 10 and deliver vaginally. One thing I forgot to tell you guys was that the whole time that I was in labor, my daughter's heart rate was jumping up into the 200s. It was staying around 210, but it was still jumping up really high into the 200s. So they were concerned about that. So when she had told me that I wasn't progressing, of course I wanted to do whatever was best for Nova. So I decided to go ahead and go with the C-section. So they got me prepped. I had already gotten the epidural around 3 centimeters. So I had already had the epidural in place. They get my husband prepped, and then they take us to the C-section room. They start the C-section, and it was the weirdest thing, because I looked over at him and I was like, oh my gosh, do you smell that? Because you can literally, I felt like I could smell when they were laser cutting me open. They ended up pulling her out at 10:11, and during the C-section it was hilarious because before they had even started, everybody in the delivery room was taking bets on how big my daughter was going to be because my belly was so big. So everybody was taking bets, and the one nurse that was with me during labor and delivery guessed that she was going to be around 8:10. And they were like, okay, so whoever gets closest gets to take the baby home. So when they had finally pulled her out and taken her over to the station to get her measured and do everything like that, they yell out that she was 8'14" and 20.5 inches long. So the nurse was the closest. She was like, yay, so I get to take the baby home now. So they ended up taking her, and she was just beautiful. She was like a little chunky Asian man. It was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. Just the C-section delivery, even though it wasn't able to be vaginal, it was just still an amazing thing that they were able to do the surgery so quickly and deliver her safely. It was a really good experience. So that is the birth of my 17-month-old Nova Ray. I'm going to insert some pictures of her as a newborn so you can see my little fat Asian man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching the most exciting day of my life, my first delivery. Stay tuned for my second. I am laying picking daisies, savoring a lazy afternoon, and I don't know if I've ever met you, but the very second that I do, I fall for you. I could settle down and settle fast.